Think about this. Hell on earth is a lack of self-discipline. If you're unable to be disciplined, you will create hell on earth for yourself. For example, in the area of food, like if you are focused on eating bad foods and you can't help but consume products and foods that destroy the human body, that leads to abnormalities, it leads to ailments, it leads to dis-ease in the body. And so sometimes we'll have a dream, a goal, a desire, something that we want to manifest, but we're unable to be consistent, take action on it, and be disciplined in following through on that thing. So why is that? Why do we have lack of self-discipline? And how can we become more disciplined so we can manifest the reality that we want and achieve our goals much quicker, much faster? It's actually interesting. I actually don't believe in discipline, because I'm sure there's something that you're disciplined in right now, like maybe watching Netflix or going on social media or going to work. When it comes to going to work, there is reasons why you're doing it. Okay, there's a big reason why you do it, and that's because you need money to survive. And in that area of survival, there's a lot of different consequences. Maybe there's kids involved. Maybe there's a home that you'll potentially lose involved. Maybe you got to take care of a specific family member. You got to take care of someone. When you're late for work or you don't show up for work, you will lose your job. And in society, when you don't have a job, it's kind of looked at in a negative way, right? When you're unemployed, it's not socially accepted to not work, right? So what I'm saying is there's a lot of negative emotions around not going to work, right? There's a lot of negative emotions and consequences for you not attending work. This is why you're so-called disciplined at going to work, because there's pain to not doing it. And there's a lot of it. Like there's a hell of a lot of it. Again, like I said, you might lose your house. You might, you got bills to pay. You're in debt. You got to take care of the kids. You got to, buy food, right? There's so many consequences to you not working. Now, on the positive spectrum, when you do work and you do get money, you get to buy yourself some stuff, maybe new clothes, or you get that sense of reward. Maybe you're saving up for a holiday. There's some gains that you get from working a job, but maybe you even enjoy the job as well. Most people, obviously, they don't enjoy their 9-to-5 job, but if you do, that's another positive reason why you want to go to your job. So on the positive spectrum of things, there's something pulling you towards your goals. You want to go on holiday, or you want to go and buy that new gift, or you want to make sure you buy good gifts for Christmas, or you want to give gifts to yourself, or whatever it is, right? There's positive consequences to you going to work. You earn a bit of money, things like this. So there's something already motivating you or pulling you to go to work. On the negative spectrum, there's something pushing you towards your goals, right? There's something pushing you towards going to work, being on time, getting up out of bed, and doing all these things, all right? And so is that discipline, right? Is that really discipline? No, it's two different emotions. There's a negative emotions to not going to work, and there's positive emotions towards going to work, and that's why you go to work. And that creates this, what we call self-discipline. Now, the problem is people like yourself are probably trying to do things for you, okay? You're trying to do things for yourself, like maybe read a book every day, or maybe keep a diary, maybe do a gratitude list. Maybe you want to exercise more. Maybe you want to follow your dream, your passion, something that you are dreaming of having in your life, and you need to be disciplined at that. Maybe it's being disciplined with going through a course or an online program, or getting your certification in studying, or studying something, right? Doing the homework, right? And so there's these things that we're trying to move towards, and those things are usually for us, and there's hardly any negative associations or hardly any positive associations to being disciplined or self-discipline and being consistent at achieving that particular outcome or that goal that you have for yourself. So let me share with you 5 things that causes lack of self-discipline. So the first one here is impatience and boredom. In our reality, in this world, we tend to want things fast, and we've been trained to want things fast. Whereas back in the day, in order to learn a bit of information, we had to basically leave the house, go to a library, find the book, open the book, find the right page where the information is, read it, consume it, remember it, right? And that's when we actually get that dopamine release, where we feel that sense of reward. And there was so much things that happened before we could, get that particular result, that dopamine release in our brain. And so these days, all we got to do is pick up our mobile phone to get information. And so we don't have to leave the house. We don't have to go for a long walk. We don't have to open a book. We don't have to find the information. We don't have to read. Well, we do have to read, but we don't have to necessarily read through something, remember it, retain it, and things like this. Okay, we could just watch a video like you're watching right now and find the information. In fact, you may have got to this video through it just showing up on your feed. It wasn't even something that you searched. It just came at you and you decided to click on it, right? And so that within itself is like a distraction, right? It's distraction marketing, and you just clicked on it because of the title and the thumbnail, and it's something that you're interested in, right? You didn't actively search it. Well, some of you may have actively searched it and typed it in the bar, but it probably took you 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds to do that, and you found a video, right? And so it doesn't take much to find good information these days. So what I'm saying is, when it comes to doing meditation, when it comes to taking action on your goals, your dreams, your desires, when it comes to doing yoga, when it comes to doing a gratitude list, when it comes to being consistent at doing your photography, when it comes to being consistent at following the online course that you're going through, when it comes to all of these things, right? It takes time, right? It takes time to get that specific result. And there's no accountability. You have to do it for yourself. And so you get bored over time, right? It's not exciting. So I always tell people, when it comes to success, you want to know where you are currently, right? You want to know where you want to be, and you need to enjoy the process to get into that specific outcome. And the reason why you need to know where you are is because you need to know who you are. You need to know your skill sets, your mindsets, what you're good at, what you're not good at, your strengths, your weaknesses, all right? Then you create the destination, then you create the outcome that you want from that space. And you might need to develop some things along the way, but you need to know where you are, and then know where you want to be, which is the outcome, the result that you want. And then it's important to enjoy the process to get in there, because otherwise you'll just feel bored, right? You'll get bored. It's just monotonous, it's tedious. And so you end up burning out and feeling like you don't want to do it anymore. And you get used to it. Your brain gets used to it. And so I'm going to be talking about frequency in one of the other tips, and how to be more consistent. But I just want you to understand that if you're not enjoying the process, chances are you're going to give up. Most people pursue a goal to achieve a specific outcome, and they think the outcome is going to make them feel good, and that's a problem with a lot of goals that we have. We think, oh, if I just make a lot of money, it doesn't matter how I do it. If I just make a lot of money, I'll be happy and I'll be successful, and it would have been worth it. But the reality is, I've been through this, many of other people have been through this, where they've achieved success, but they're unfulfilled, they're unhappy, they gain weight, they feel depressed, they get anxiety, right? It's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And I'm sure you've heard this many times before. So when I say enjoying the process, it's important to do something that's meaningful to you, something that, is purposeful to you, something that you actually like doing, something that you actually enjoy doing. If you don't like exercising in a certain way, then don't exercise that way. Find a way that you like to exercise, that you actually enjoy, so you're enjoying the process. So it becomes addictive to do that thing. Does that make sense? Like, I like attending and going to the gym and pushing heavy weights. I also like skating. I can't help but skate. It's something that I like doing, and I'm exercising at the same time. It's very hard to skate. It takes a lot of breath and energy and leg power out of you. And so, it's great exercise for the legs, for the body, for the abs, and all of this stuff. And it keeps you fit. It keeps your respiratory system flowing, right? So there's so many things involved in that. And we need to acknowledge that sometimes we need to disappear when it comes to the activities that we want to achieve in our lives. Meaning, if it's writing, a book, that you want to write a book, you disappear. You're just in this creative flow, and you get stuff done because you're enjoying it. You love what you do. The second thing that causes lack of discipline is a negative association towards pain and feeling uncomfortable, right? When it comes to doing things for ourselves, and doing that meditation every day, pursuing your goals every day, or whatever it is, we are not okay with feeling uncomfortable. I need to wait until I feel right to get started, right? Most people are waiting until they feel right, till they feel good, till they're inspired, till they have this feeling. They're waiting for a feeling to do it. In the morning, most people don't feel like getting out of bed. Some people do, some people don't, right? But a lot of people don't feel like getting out of bed. And so this feeling is something that you can't submit to, right? If you keep on submitting to, I feel uncomfortable, so I'm not gonna do it, right? If you keep submitting to that, you're reprogramming your brain to every time something gets hard, or every time I don't feel like doing it, I'm not gonna do it. You want to train yourself to do things when you are uncomfortable, when you don't feel like doing it, and so comfort, we can see that we're designing our world right now to be more convenient, to be more comfortable, to be more easy. Most of the inventions that we have is for the sake of comfort and convenience. Even the light bulb, everything is designed to make things easier. But in making things easier, we are losing more and more discipline. We're becoming more and more comfortable. Back in the day, when you had to go hunt for food, right? You have to go do so much to get a specific result. Now all we've got to do is done for us. We just go to the grocery store, we get the stuff, right? And so when I was talking about hell on earth is a lack of discipline, we have to acknowledge that things are way easier, and we want to train ourselves to feel that uncomfortable feeling and do it anyway. And going back to the first tip, right? Sometimes you feel uncomfortable in doing something. Sometimes you don't feel like doing it that day or whatever it is. And if you're enjoying the process, guess what? Once you get started, right? Once you just push through 5 minutes, 10 minutes of doing it, even just saying, I'm just going to get to the gym or something like that. When we actually go and start doing it and we're in the process of doing it, it actually starts feeling good, right? We actually start feeling better. We start enjoying the process. It's just getting over that first initial hump in actually getting started, right? Getting started is the key. Once you start getting started with something that you actually enjoy, guess what? You start doing it more and more, right? The pendulum starts to swing and you're ready to take action. Another thing that causes lack of self-discipline and lack of consistency is our vices, right? We all have vices. There's hardly anyone without a vice. Your vice could be biting your nails. Your vice could be being addicted to caffeine. Your vice might be smoking, right? Your vice might be watching, Netflix. Your vice might be going on social media. Your vice might be checking your email all the time, all right? Your vice might be sex, right? We all have different vices or addictions, right? And addictions are usually instant, right? They usually bring an instant relief or instant feeling in the body, instant dopamine release, right? And so again, it's coming back to things being easy. Like I used to be extremely addicted to my phone, and my coach one time told me, hey, why don't you set yourself up where you work during the day and in the evening your reward after 4 p.m., 5 p.m., you get to go on your phone as a reward, right? He said, don't go on your phone until after 4 p.m., right? And so you take your vice and you put it towards the end of your day when you've taken action towards your goals, right? So you have to do meditation, do your gratitude list, do your visualization, go work out. You have to set up certain things in place first before you get the vice or the thing that you are addicted to or whatever it is, video games, going on Netflix or whatever it is. If you haven't done what you are supposed to do that day, which is what's most important to you that day, then you don't get the reward. Most of us are rewarding us for poor behavior, and we don't want to be rewarding ourselves for poor behavior. We wouldn't do that to our children, and so we want to be able to set things up in a way where we're putting those things towards the end of our day. Now, some of these things, some of these vices are negative vices. For example, if you're smoking cigarettes, then obviously that's not a healthy habit to have and do to yourself. But what tends to happen is this vice, because you're focused on doing what you love, the vice actually gets less and less. Because when I was like addicted to the phone, what happened is I didn't even want to go on my phone anymore. After I had done my day's work and I got that dopamine release from actually working and feeling passionate about what I was doing and focusing on that, I didn't even want to pick up my phone. I didn't even want to go on my phone. I didn't even want to do any of that stuff anymore. Now, I'm not saying this is going to work for everyone, so you have to be careful, but a lot of the time we are, doing these addictions, we are doing these things where we want this instant gratification because there's something else unfulfilled, and that's probably because we're not following through on what we want to follow through on. So we feel bad and we don't feel as good as we could feel. So we end up doing those things anyway and leaving our dreams in the back burner. And that's a heavy weight to carry when you're not being consistent and focused on achieving your goals. Sorry, my throat needs to be cleared a little bit. We want to make sure that we set ourselves up for success and be very careful with what you are rewarding yourself with. If you reward yourself with something healthy, something that's positive, something that doesn't hurt you too much, and you're still making progress towards your goals, that's a good thing. For example, for me, it might be that I am able to go skating after I do my day's work, or I'm able to go watch Netflix after my day of work. I like watching movies. I like going to the cinemas. I like eating takeout. I go into restaurants. And so I can say to myself, well, I don't get to do these things unless I do this, and this, right? The fourth one I want to share with you here is finding your tune. Okay, you need to find your tune. Sometimes, you'll see these motivational videos and you'll see other people on social media, or you just see your friends, family members, and they do things every day. They're very, very extremely disciplined. And I call that military levels of discipline. You do not need to be military levels of discipline to create a habit. You do not need to create military levels of discipline to be consistent, right? You need to find your tune, what works for you, right? For example, I used to try and make videos every single day, okay? Because I saw other YouTubers making YouTube videos every single day. And it was just out of alignment with me. Okay, I can do it and I can push myself to do it, and I can do it for long periods of time if I really wanted to. But guess what? It messes with my creativity. It messes with my level of quality of video, the content that I'm putting out. It messes with my energy levels and things like this. It doesn't feel overall good. I'm not enjoying the process. Okay, but when I make 2 or 3 videos a week, maybe 4 videos a week, guess what? It feels good to me. I can be more creative. I can come up with the ideas. I can find the right keywords for my videos, and I'm taking the time to put out more valuable content. Does that make sense? And so that creates consistency. That creates self-discipline. Sometimes you're not supposed to meditate every single day. Just because someone said to meditate every day doesn't mean you specifically are supposed to meditate every day. Maybe you're the type of person to meditate 3 times a week. Maybe it's the frequency of doing it at 10 minutes or 5 minutes a day. Maybe it's not an hour or 30 minutes. You need to find your frequency. You need to find your tune. You need to find out what works for you. So a lot of people can be self-disciplined at meditating 5 minutes or 10 minutes 3 days a week. And if you do that over a period of a month, my friend, you are consistent. Just because the next person is meditating half an hour every single day doesn't mean that's for you. You need to work out what works for you. And I will say that you can have subconscious programs. You can have self-limiting beliefs and an identity or a self-image that says you can't be that consistent. And you can change that, and you can become more disciplined in a specific area, by reprogramming your subconscious mind 100%. But sometimes it's just being in tune with who you are, all right? And finding out what is the frequency of how much times I'm gonna do this per week, okay? Or per day, or whatever it is, and listen to your body. Okay, and there's a delicate balance with that. Okay, you got to find out what your tune is, because you can go to too little, or you can go to too much, right? You want to find out what works for you. And again, you want to be careful of not beating yourself up because you're not like the next person, or comparing yourself to someone else, or that you didn't do it that day, or whatever it is. We are being trained, to be in this sort of hustle culture. We're being trained that if we don't do something specific day, we're a bad person, or whatever it is. You're not a bad person for not taking action a specific day. Our body needs to rest. If I'm working out, going to the gym, and pushing muscle, my muscles break down, right? So I need to rest to build my muscle back so I can recover. Rest is very productive. It's a productive activity. It's an activity that leads to more and more success. And so we need to learn that about ourselves, that pushing too hard and using too much willpower, trying to achieve a specific outcome, and being impatient, right, leads to us feeling unfulfilled and feeling bad, and then it creates lack of consistency because we're not enjoying the process. And so it's just a never-ending spiral. And so that's why it's so important to enjoy the process and not creating this instant gratification within yourself and having lack of patience with yourself. Okay, it can be very detrimental to your self-esteem, and it can make you feel very, very low. And then once you feel more and more low, you become more and more inconsistent, and you have less and less discipline. I just want to leave this tip off by saying, some people say it takes 21 days to build a habit. Some say 30 days, some say 66 days, some say 88 days, or whatever it is, 100 and whatever days. It really doesn't matter. I think overall it depends on who you are. It depends on your dopamine levels. It depends on how passionate you are about that specific thing. It depends on a variety of different reasons why. They can go and prove it in science, and I've read all this stuff and I've tried it myself, and it didn't work for me. Okay, what really worked for me is what I'm telling you right now, is that you need to enjoy the process. You need to be patient. You need to open yourself up to the idea that there might be a negative association to taking action, or negative association. You might feel too much pain around doing that specific thing. Okay, there's many things why you're not consistent, why you're not self-disciplined. And the fifth one might be, another one that's not spoken about, but it's a lack of emotions. A lack of feeling that sense of reward or motivation within yourself. This is a huge one that I had, where I saw everyone being consistent and taking action, and the way that I was taking action is I was using my head. I was using my will. I need to force myself. I need to push myself, to get a specific result. Why am I not doing it? Why am I not taking action? So I just push myself to do it. Okay. And so the reason why I was using my head, I was pushing myself using willpower, is because I had lack of emotion around doing that specific thing. Now, this happens because we're trained to keep our head in the clouds. We are cut off from our body, right? And so, we go to school, we go to nursery, we go to kindergarten, we go to school, stand in line, right? Cross your legs, right? Listen to the teacher, focus on the whiteboard, focus to what they're telling you, right? Being trained by someone authoritarian, right? You go into secondary school, or high school, or whatever it is, college, university, and then you go to work, and then you're working in an office, and you're doing the same thing every day, same old routine. All right, we get disconnected from our bodies, right? We get disconnected from our bodies, and we're so stuck in logic. We're so stuck in our heads, we forget about our body, and we become more emotional-less, right? And within that system of going to work every day, hustling, grinding, and all of this stuff, we're doing it based on money. We're doing it based on shame and guilt on how we will look towards other people. Other people are telling us that we need to get a job, go to school, get good grades, get a job, have a good career, get married, have kids, right? That is the usual system that we need to go through. And if we're not doing that, we are weird or out of the box or whatever it is, right? So, but in that system, it's that pain association that I spoke about in tip number one, that pleasure association, where if you don't work, you won't have money, and then you'll lose your house, and then you'll do this and this, right? So there's a self-discipline in there, but it's like is not manufactured by us, it's not created from us. And so for a lot of us, we haven't experienced creating self-discipline for us. For me, what do I want? What do I need? All right. And so again, our head's in the clouds and we're disconnected from our body, and we're focused on what everyone else wants, what society wants, and we haven't really focused on me. What do I want? What do I need? What am I passionate about? And we need to learn to be more connected to our body, right? And so it's coming down from the head into the heart and experiencing the body, right? Experiencing being more in our body, our full body, right? And so how can we do that? How can we get more in tune with our body? Well, it's a matter of realizing and acknowledging that it's there. You know, take time to look in the mirror and look at your body, look at your hands and feel connected to it. Maybe it's doing affirmations in the mirror, saying that you love yourself. There's a really good book called Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It, which teaches you to just constantly repeat that you love yourself. I love myself. I love myself. You can go and exercising, doing yoga, engaging your body, walking out. We live a very sedentary lifestyle and we're sitting down a lot. And I can tell you it's not good, right? From my own personal experience, working from home, running my own business, you know, my hips and my legs are very, very tight. And I've been working on that, and I've been having to go to therapy, you know, to go and heal certain things in my body. And so it's not good that we sit down every day all the time. We live a very sedentary lifestyle. And for a lot of us, we're not exercising. We're not moving our body as much as we should be using our body. So that again is we're becoming more and more disconnected from our body. And so no wonder we don't feel any emotion. Well, no wonder we're emotionally numb. No wonder, you know, we don't feel as motivated because the body's not moving. We're not engaging our body. Another reason again is like, you know, when you're feeling lack of emotions, that might be low serotonin, low dopamine in the body. And so you can eat certain foods and there's certain supplements that you can go check out. You just do your research on that, on how to increase serotonin and your dopamine levels. And once you increase these, you might feel a sense of motivation and drive to get things done. But ultimately, you want to also be doing things that are natural, where you're actually engaging your body. I cannot tell you how it feels for me to skate. Like the happiness and how connected to my body that I feel when I'm exercising and doing skating is I feel way more connected to my body, and that actually motivates me to get more and more stuff done and take more action and be more self-disciplined. And so if you have shallow emotions, there's going to be lack of drive. There's going to be lack of getting stuff done. There's a lack of passion. There's a lack of excitement, right? And so of course, if you feel dull, you're not going to take any action, right? So I've personally experienced this, and it's not a nice feeling. And so what happened is I started using my head to take action. And when you use your head to take action, it's very, very hard to be consistent. It's very, very hard to be self-disciplined. Yeah, because you only have so much willpower. Your brain burns out, right? Whereas the heart, it doesn't burn out. You can't burn out passion, real passion. You can't burn out enjoying the process. You can't burn out these things. If we spoke about in tip number 1, good negative associations, like if I don't do this, there are certain consequences, and you have positive associations, positive consequences to taking action on something. Guess what? That is emotional drive, not head drive, but emotional drive. Emotion is energy in motion. And when we have enough emotion behind something, it's much easier to have self-discipline, self-control, and being consistent in what you want to create in your life, what you want to manifest into your life. Tony Robbins says, if you're in your head, you're dead, right? If you're in your body, you are alive, all right? And so if there's no life in your body, there's no aliveness in your body, then yeah, you're not gonna feel much emotion, and it's gonna be hard for you to be consistent. So engaging your body is very important. Meditating on your body, recognizing your body, acknowledging your body, right? Loving yourself, appreciating yourself, increasing your self-worth, that you are valuable enough to have the goal that you want, right? Building connection with yourself, because again, if you're transitioning from working 9 to 5 to running an online business, it's a whole different ball game, and so it's a whole different mindset, because you're having to be self-sufficient. You're having to take action for yourself, right? You're having to figure things out for yourself, your own motivations, your own drives, and there's no negative or positive associations to that anymore. And so you need to figure out what that is for yourself. And so if you want help with that, by the way, I have coaching available in the description. I have a free energy reading where I find out your vibration, where you resonate at, and also a manifestation diagnosis session, which dives deeper into, what's blocking you from achieving your success, subconscious programs and things like this. And so if you're someone that really wants to create your dream life and you want to learn how to truly be self-disciplined, not, pushing yourself hard every day, not, trying to force yourself, you're actually finding your passion, finding what works for you, figuring out who you are. The free energy reading, manifestation diagnosis session, or one-on-one coaching will help you. And so all the links will be in the description of this video. Check out my recent video on how to protect your energy from being drained over here. And over here is an unlisted playlist on how to raise your vibration, how to master your vibration and transform your life in very powerful ways. It's a 3-part series that will change your life. And remember to keep learning, keep growing, keep expanding, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace.